I know it's been a few days. I want to give a shout out to everybody who likes, share, subscribe. Uh, if you appreciate my content, you get something out of it, something informative. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Foul Shot, aka the Toothless Wonder, reporting on the Bamboozle Again News Network, where I think, based on my latest victory against a supreme narcissist uh, in a paternity case, right? Every time I endure something, battle through it, and ultimately get the victory, the W, by the favor, the grace and mercy of the Most High, it puts me on another spiritual level. Not necessarily financial or anything like that, because I understand the game on spiritual now. So I've noticed since that hard-won victory, I stopped caring about stuff. We had a political kind of talking point because my director's leaving, right? So we're prepping for his departure, who's coming in, changes, whatever, whatever. Of course, we'll be the last to know. I already know that. I ain't tripping off of that. But as they got into the political conversation about, Democrat, Republican, as I was taught, it's always principles over personalities. I wanted to kind of chime in with my, spiritual insight, um, but I just perceive they're not really there because they just get caught up on the individuals, and that's not what's moving these individuals. So I've seen content about, TD Jake stepping down. Okay, I really don't feel the need to talk about that because I really don't care. Now I care about his victims, but how this thing is being played and portrayed to us, it's almost like an energy harvest to a degree. Tariff on, tariff off, or they going to jail, they go to jail, then they get out. I just don't care. I'm just concerned with me and mine and my work at this point. Everything else is relevant. And to be totally honest, and I know it take a different type of individual to have this stance, but it comes from my spiritual walk, where I don't care what Caligula, aka Trump, do. I just don't. It's not good. Again, anything that's principled shouldn't be circumstantial. So yeah, you can be adaptive in how you move or prepare, whatever the case may be, but it ain't gonna stop what I've been into lately, which is understanding a greater degree of the spiritual and physical application of fasting. Um, denying my flesh, because as Yeshua said, the kingdom of God is spiritual. At that time, they were waiting for a physical kingdom, and that will come. But here's how you spiritually combat what's going on in the physical realm. I really don't care about gang stalking now, to the point and degree where after I got the W, so I'm checking my own thoughts, right? And it felt good, but am I feeling egotistical? Do I want to gloat? Because they would have gloated over me if the shoe was on their foot, but it's not on their foot, it's on mine, and I'm held to a higher standard. You did. So then I thought about it. I said, yeah, I feel sorry for them folk, man. You know what I'm saying? Understand to some degree or another, we're all, no matter what side of the fence you're on, we're all under spiritual warfare. I just been graced to be able to fight mine. You know what I'm saying? The proverbial narcissist, gang stalker, whatever, they just gave in. You know what I'm saying? And trust and believe, there have been times where I've mentally given in or given up. But even with no physical mental energy, something inside of me spurred me on, even though I have absolutely positively no clue what I'm spurring on to. That's where the endurance and the patience got built up. You understand me? So now in this, 4 year and some change run of sobriety, I've learned how to wait, and I'm patient in the waiting, and I got a decent spiritual attitude while I wait, with no time period when it's gonna change. It's almost like spiritual weightlifting or spiritual endurance training. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's hard, and yeah, it can tire you out. But then you, after a certain point, or you cross this invisible threshold, as I like to call it, you notice you got more wind than the average. Not that I compare myself, but I can actually run this race effectively. My beliefs, attitudes, value system isn't predicated on anything external. Because if it is, then it'll change when external things change. And like how I got taught getting off of drugs, change is a constant. I just adapt to the change. You know what I'm saying? I come up with a general game plan, run it like a business person, and then I'll analyze the data of what worked, what didn't. And if it keep changing, I just keep changing and evolving with it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And the stuff that's maybe in the world like Shador Sanders, what happened with the NFL, I highlight that um, for the purpose of understanding the plight here in Babylon. that no man is bigger than the program. I'll highlight Shannon Sharp to look out, necessarily because I want to talk about Shannon Sharp. I want to use that as a case study so you don't get bamboozled with the proverbial Jezebel and her various tactics here in Babylon, no matter what your financial situation is. Because trust and believe, you can be dead broke or the proverbial Pookie and Ray Ray, and they'll still send the harlot to keep you at that space. But I've never known, let's say, a proverbial Pookie or Ray Ray to come alive spiritually still attached to a Jezebel. It's what I made a video about this a little whiles back about the tactics they use to keep you on the proverbial spiritual plantation of organized religion and, just the matrixy kind of construct of this society we find ourselves in. Now that I done kind of broke free of it, I can see it for what it is. And then when I see it, it used to be vexing to me, or why are they doing? Now, from what I understand, they're programmed to do that. Organized religion, like let's say in the black church here it was nothing but the Pharisees during Yeshua time, or the state-sanctioned religious leaders who were on the witchcraft side of things against the prophets of old. It ain't nothing new under the sun, and I'm of the belief, and I made a video about this, there's no new spirits operating. You know what I'm saying? They just might inhabit something that has a different face. I was talking to a brother today, and he was talking about his dating history, right? Oh, son, that's weird. He was talking about his dating history and whatnot, right? And he was talking about, I guess he has a podcast as well, and he's talking to this married woman, which I wouldn't advise against. But he's not seeing from the perspective of, essentially, you her boy toy, or whatever, when her husband not around, X, Y, Z, da, da, da. But he had said something very profound. He was like, she reminded me of my 2 other baby mothers. I said, yeah, because whatever that type of spirit she got, thinks it can harvest you. You know what I'm saying? Once I understood that, now first when I got into YouTube, it was the intellectual stuff. The Coach Greg Adams or the Steffes Code. I'm like, yeah, because I was seeing it, right? I was seeing what they was talking about. I, did reflection and see, how I got jammed up or bamboozled, or whatever case may be. But then when I went to the spiritual side of the intellectual understanding, I'm not saying I can't get bamboozled. I can if I drop my guard. That's why you're supposed to put your whole armor on. But I truly believe in spiritual confidence. There's absolutely positively no way to me get bamboozled. Because as soon as my spirit start, alarm system go off, all my leaning to my own wisdom and understanding going out the window. And I'm going to follow my spirit because I've been trained to do so by the Most High consistently put me in positions where it's uncertain to quote unquote force me to learn things or grow spiritually, rather. Like I said, understanding, fasting and different types of fasts. I've been on that the past couple of days after a victory. Most of the content I've been consuming here lately is more on just personal, mental, spiritual skill set development. I don't care what the world do. Let's say Trump come out or he just collapsed the economy. Him collapsing the economy ain't gonna stop my mustard greens from growing out the ground. I don't care what they do. And I already know in a general sense what they're gonna do. So it's not like, oh, we're going to world war. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. When they've been, turning it on, turning off the war machine, turning it off, since I've been on Earth. And yeah, probably be whatever, however it looks. But I refuse to believe I'm going to lose my mind. Because I've been, practically, mentally preparing now. You know what I'm saying? If I hear it's going to be a hurricane next week, it's not like, oh, I just go to sleep after work and take a nap. And I might just do that. But then when I get up, maybe I'll buy some toilet paper. Maybe I'll board up, or make sure I got enough wood to board up the house. You know what I'm saying? Like the parables of these simple things. See, here's another thing I understood, right? Or I just came to this epiphany. That you can find deep spiritual truths and regular stuff all around you. Like when Yeshua talked about, I believe it was him, the parable of the ant. Deep spiritual meaning by something you just step over and don't think twice about. You know what I'm saying? How the squirrel gather nuts and store them away. Save money. You know what I'm saying? How the lion might not eat for 3 days, but he's forced to hunt on an empty stomach, would actually, and fasting does this, and I noticed this, and I'll segue this to fasting, right? Here's my personal experience with fasting, right? Now, I'm going to take a nap, because normally that's my scheduled routine. After work, I take a nap. But I notice I'm not necessarily as tired. I notice that it keeps me in a constant state of mindfulness on the Most High, because I'm constantly reminded of how hungry I am and my dependence on Him. You understand me? Seemingly, I've consumed less, but I have more energy to do stuff. Um, I'm not as mentally foggy. You understand me? Because my brain is constantly running, analyzing, and it's probably gonna do that. That's just part of who I am. But I'm more actually, uh, dare I say, I take more initiative. I'll say that because we got tomorrow's is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow the first. So the first Tuesday every month we gotta do these annual reports. I've already started doing my reports. You know what I'm saying? So by the time they do, or probably a few days before they do, they'll already be done. And then I can work on something else on my computer or whatever. Like here's something else I've been doing. Because I fashioned myself, and I said this myself when I was little. I want to be an international player. You understand? So I've been going on them Chinese. Now I just don't tell y'all stuff. Eventually I will get around doing it myself and tell y'all strength. So I've been going on these Chinese websites and checking out what kind of merchandise they got for the low. So my plan, if it work out like that, and typically my plan don't work, but I like to be, even if I can't personally use it, I just send it to somebody I know, or hey, you more in business than I am. Hey, check this out, cuz. You know what I'm saying? The price is 20% cheap. Ooh. So I was looking at Jordan, and they look just like the Jordans, but they like 70 between, and you got buy them in bulk, but you can buy one. But let's say if you buy, let's say 100 pair, they might be $59 per pair. You put your markup on it, you know what I mean? Woo to woo. So I've been looking at all that type of stuff while I got free time at work, you know what I mean? But I had the mental energy to do that, getting everything situated and ran through that like juggernauts for getting everything switched over because I had my child now. Um, putting things in place for her financially. Cause not, and I understand this as well. Cause okay, you take stuff, take stuff in steps, right? Um, yeah, her. But regardless of what Trump do, I'm still down by law and required by the Most High to, even if it's just knowledge or being able to have a functional situation where I can pass that down to her children that ain't even here yet. In the age and the day of, let's say the baby boomer generation, like my father and them generation, who just want to trick off and all this here, and didn't think about us or tell us just go work for the man and all this here. Now we see working for the man may not work if the man deem your job ain't necessary or will hold on to you long enough before we pull these robots in here. So I don't care what these folk do. I've been like this since I was little. And King Connect said this in the song. I ain't got no physical king. Glad I ain't got one, because they'll all let you down. I've let myself down. Take heed, no man deceive you, including me. You know what I'm saying, me? That's why I try to live what I tell. You know what I'm saying? I try to produce evidence of what I said. Now, it'd be harder for y'all because y'all don't personally know me. But I found I went through hate by the sheer fact that over a period of time, I was who I said I was, and I did what I said I was finna do. Oh my God. Now we'll say, oh, Negroes lie bad, or they this, that, and the third, or they bamboozlers. But then you finally meet a brother who been pruned by the Most High before you met him, but you don't know that. Who is who he portrays himself to be, and do what he say he gonna do. And if he not gonna do something, he stick to that too. And you're mad. But I understand it, cause to some degree in this world, like we're born in iniquity, we're born in the sin, we're born in a bamboozlement. I just had certain inklings as far as like the worldly stuff, but I bamboozle myself because I ain't fit in the world. Oh, let me escape this world with weed, drugs, harlots as I know them to be now, masquerading as something, in alignment wherever I was at the time. Everything I've gone through that has caused me any level of heartbreak was actually for my good. Now I'm wise enough not to put myself in them situations as best I can help it. Or let's say even circumstance, let's say homeless. No, I don't want to be homeless, you know what I'm saying? But if I am, I'm probably better suited because my self-value isn't tied, and he must have a reason for this, and he must be taking me somewhere. So let me bear up under this like I've been bearing up under everything else. Fast, pray, treat folk right, do an internal self-audit, as I like to call it, check my ego and things of that nature, and keep on keeping on. Because ultimately, when it's all said and done with, he will get grace and glory out of my life. That's the whole reason I'm on earth, right? All that fulfilling my own desire, even if they seem honorable or benign. If that ain't his will, they ain't gonna work, and I'm out of order. So I don't even care nothing about my own will now. Yeah, I would like to do certain things, experience certain things, so on and so forth, but that ain't his will for me. I'm just cool with that. Because now, I think, how to say, you can ask anything you want, and it'll be given to you. That can probably, if not now, I'm probably pretty close. I can do that because now my prayers will be in alignment with his will that he had before I was even here. And on that note, I'm going to holler at y'all, get my nap on. One love, baby. Ooh.